have selected the topic of dynamic metamorphism to talk about on the final review. What I've learned is that dynamic metamorphism, sorry, let me get my slides here. Dynamic metamorphism is something that happens to a rock that experiences an extreme amount of pressure. This typically happens along earthquake fault lines like the San Andreas Fault. And so because the rocks in that area are under such a great deal of pressure, the pressure crushes the rocks into these angular type of fragments, and they become what's called a myelinite. So these are the rocks that are going to be on the very edges of the fault. So the myelinites are created by this dynamic metamorphism. They start out as a rock that has granules that you can see, like in the diagram, it shows the original rock, where the grains of the rock are larger. And then when the rock goes through this process of being exposed to the pressure, it becomes a myelinite, and that myelinite looks very fine grained, and it contains these laminations, so it looks like the rock is kind of like going in a certain kind of like a parallel pattern, so you don't see those fine grains anymore. It squishes it all down basically. The other thing that can be found at these fault lines is called fault breccia. I hope I'm saying that right. It's either called fault breccia or tectonic breccia, and these are rocks that are created also by the movement of the fault. I guess when the movement of the fault happens, that means there was an earthquake, and so. It is kind of a more brittle rock, and there's like not only the pressure, but the grinding and the milling of the rocks together make these kind of loose fragments. So there's a sample there of a fault breccia of the Keystone Thrust in the Red Rock Conservation Area in Nevada. So there are several different types of rock metamorphism. So the dynamic metamorphism is just one type, so please be sure to look at the other videos detailing the other types of metamorphism. Thank you.